Yes, I invite all of you to have your seats. Okay, let's start. Distinguished speakers, dear participants, dear member of the EUSAIR community, good morning and welcome to this Adriatic and Ionian Roundtable entitled Better Together, Academic and Business World for Social, Cultural, Economic Growth of the Adriatic and Ionian Region. I'd like to say that it's a pleasure to have you here today in this important context of the forum EUSAIR within the Bosnia-Herzegovina Chairmanship. My greetings go also to those who are following us in streaming today. First of all, let me shortly introduce myself. I am Eleonora Tramannoni, Executive Officer of the Forum of the Adriatic and Ionian Chambers of Commerce, a transnational no-profit association connecting together around 40 chambers of commerce all over the Adriatic and Ionian countries. Today's event is organized by our association, together with the other two civil society fora, the network of the university, UniAdrian, and the Forum of the Cities, FIC, together with the permanent secretariat of the Adriatic and Ionian Initiative, with whom we have been collaborating since our establishment in early 2000s. Our roundtable intends to focus on the urgent phenomenon of the brain drain that actually was one of the main topics of this forum these days. So we will reflect on how we can act together in order to strengthen the sense of belonging to the Adriatic and Ionian region for the young generation and on the opportunities of being part on a single territories altogether. This with the aim of moving from the brain drain to a brain gain and brain circulation dynamic in our region. So the three fora are actually working a lot on towards this direction and joint research, joint programs, structured student mobility are some of the tools put in place along with the Adriatic and Ionian Initiative, the European Commission, in order to boost the growth of our region, to involve the young people and therefore discourage the brain drain. So we will discover today some of these tools thanks to our speakers. So now, without any further ado, I would like to ask our dearest speaker of the opening session to take a seat here on the stage. So I call to be with us Ambassador Milos Prisa and Ambassador Pia Poco, Mrs. Pansgrau Hadrovic, President Marko Šantić, Mr. Andrea Perna, Professor Andrea Perna, and Jelena Stjepčević. Okay, thank you very much. It's very nice to see all of you together, our representative of the civil society together with our ambassador, Pia Poco, and the presidency. Okay, so I kindly ask you now, Mr. Milos Prisa, to take the floor. He's from the Ministry of the Foreign Affairs of Bosnia-Herzegovina, EUSAIR AII Chairmanship in office. Thank you, Ambassador, to be with us. As you prefer, sure. Yeah, if you want to come here in the podium or... Okay, great.
Thank you very much, distinguished colleagues, excellencies, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for this opportunity to address you on behalf of Bosnia-Herzegovina EUSAIR Presidency and Adriatic-Ionian Initiative Chairmanship, and once again to welcome you to Sarajevo, and I hope that in our country you feel the hospitality, the culture, unfortunately, the weather is not the best that we have expected, but what could we do? And let me open this this round table with the first and main remark, because we are seeing that the round table is being named, as you see, Academic and Business World for Social, Cultural, Economic Growth. I think it should be renamed. It should be said Academic and Business World for Social, Cultural, Economic Survival. Because simply this is one of the key. Are we going to survive in the fast, ever-changing world, or we are being left behind and nobody will wait for us to wake up? It's so obvious. Just to mention one example, do you really think, for example, that this country could have a great future if they keep here 0.2% of GDP being invested in innovations? The goal, according to the European Union already prepared voluntary national review for a high-level political forum in New York. It is first regional voluntary review on a report of one region. Their goal is to have 2.8% of GDP for innovations and research. That means this is a key in especially our countries that are not yet in European Union, that something has to be changed, and that we really have to see such a synergy between academia and business sector, where both are addressing their needs and then absorbing those needs among each other. There is no place in today's modern and very connected world to say, well, we missed that we shouldn't have so many students in this field, that we had to have much more in this field. We do not have any time for such mistakes, and that has to be really changed really rapidly. As I said, nobody will wait for us. Also, the academia and business sector and the whole society has to be fully aware that we are living in the world where it is so normal to tell somebody, look, your occupation will cease to exist in 10 years, and you are 25 years old. If you told someone in 1970 such a thing, I think you will probably be sent to a psychiatrist. But today, I think it will be very out of date in maybe 2035 that you are saying that it will last for such a long time, like 10 years. That means that the society, but first of all academia and business sector, for obvious reason, because they will collapse if they are not following these rules, they have to adjust themselves, every person, for the lifelong learning. There is nothing done, I got faculty diploma, in next 40 years I'm doing my job, and that's it. That is the past. That had been the past. But some of our societies in Adiatic-Ionian region, some of them haven't realized that. And with also besides that, with using the mobility, which is really very well addressed in Adriatic-Ionian initiative. I think we could have a better flow, not only of information, but the way of thinking. If students from one AII country going to another and vice versa, they will not only get the information and even know-how for some things, but they will get connected, and then they will be able to exchange their experiences much more often. These are things so crucial, and if we fail here, and if we are talking about these things in 2025 and 2026 with the same level of everything what we left in May 2023, we will be definitely nowhere. The modernization and upgrade of every business is going on with or with us, or without. It's for us to choose, not for them. They had already chosen. And there is no reason even to look at us, those who decided to go and to move forward very fast. I will not going to be any longer, but I really would like to see that this roundtable and the following ones under Croatian leadership starting from 1st of June, that we really develop such a culture of thinking. If we start to really change the society, it's not only the question if the rector of Sarajevo University knows that, or professor from Athens knows that. It has to be spread in a way that every single person in our societies know that, because without being aware of that, it is obvious that their life will deteriorate and they will be completely lost in space. I thank you very much for your attention, and of course thanking Adriatic-Ionian Initiative and Secretariat for, I would say, more than outstanding work throughout our chairmanship from 1st of June 2022, and we will do our best also to contribute as much as possible during Croatian leadership, starting I would say 7 days from now, and that we are seeing that we are really moving very strongly just forward. Thank you very much.
No, I asked you not to touch the microphone because for 12 months we have been used to have a kind of microphone show. Milos comes before me, then I am the second, and all the time I have to do like that. So since we are consumed artists, I didn't want to miss this opportunity for the last time, to show how good we are. So we have also an artistic, maybe, future. More or less together, maybe. Okay. Sorry, I have disrupted your organization. I will not go into the matter as Milos did, because as head of the Secretariat, I want to highlight some point, and specifically your role as Fora in the framework of the strategy. So I'm very happy that we have Giovanni, my good long-time friend and colleague, our Secretary General, here with us. I never read pre-written and pre-cooked speeches. I just put down a few ideas that I want to develop. First of all, thanks. Thank you, Eleonora. You are the driving force behind all these organizations and so many others. We rely very much on you. Good job, and it's a pleasure always to respond positively to your invitations. And I see so many familiar faces here, so much that I feel at home with you. And I'm sure that you feel you are fully 100% member of the family of the strategy. Well, needless to say, it's very simple. Just to highlight that, José, yesterday you had the pleasure and also the honor to open the forum with the Minister of the Chairmanship. This is a significant example of how much and how inner your contribution, your presence is in the strategy. So thank you, José, for what you have been doing all over the year, for what you are doing and you will do in the future. I see other familiar faces of the Forum Chambers of Commerce. Marco Shantic, I saw him, I don't know. Yeah, Marco, you are there. Thank you again for organizing so effectively your meeting in Mostar, in the framework of the Mostar exhibition. That was another important event that we cared very much, and we are happy that we could participate. What about the other fora? We have here the Secretary General of the UniAdrion. You know how close our cooperation is with the universities. Let me just mention briefly scholarship. Our poor finances allowed us to put aside some money due to the unfortunate event of COVID. But the positive part of COVID for us was to have saved some money because of impossibility of traveling or organizing meetings. And that money has been totally devoted to scholarship, to internship with the cooperation with the Chambers of Commerce. Young people going, spend some time in small industries in order to learn what the future could be. And also, you know, in other dossiers related to youth. So youth has been for us of paramount importance over this year. And then the other four, I see familiar faces again here. The president of the cities. Thank you for being here with us. My friend from Abruzzo in front of me is reading his phone. Doesn't listen to me, but I mean, tell him that I have told him that. And then, what else? Regions, the presence of my good friend Trenta, my good friend Umberto, heading a large delegation of the Marche region, just to highlight out this region as a special place inside the strategy. So thank you for coming here, taking the time to come to Sarajevo. Maybe I have, or certainly I have forgotten someone, and I beg your pardon for that. Let me go to other kind of thanks, Milos. I have once again, now this is the last round table of your chairmanship. Let me tell you how much we at the Secretariat, myself personally, enjoyed to work with you. I have put some adjectives here, our cooperation. I put friendly. It has been certainly friendly. Fraternal, more than friendly, more than friendly. Relaxed, because we never argued on anything. We just went step by step, hand in hand, together. So much that I could also call it symbiotic. Sometimes I did things pretty sure that you would agree with that, not even asking you. And you did the same. This means real good, friendly cooperation. Thank you again, Milos. Really, thank you very much. It was a pleasure. It was an honor. And here by my side, I have Lydia. You are coming in. You are the person who will be mostly in charge of AII events. Obviously, we rely very much on you. First of all, I want to thank you because you had to, in order to be here, to adjust a little bit your agenda, and you were kind enough to be with us. Your presence is absolutely important because it stresses continuity, which must be the name of the game. You are so active. We have already met. So active, you are already organizing. Something which is a kind of continuation of a result achieved by the still current chairmanship on women empowerment. In July, there will be this big event. We certainly will be there, and we will be by your side as always. Thank you, Lydia. I'm sure, pretty sure, that I will spend at the end of your chairmanship the same adjectives, and maybe even more, don't be jealous, maybe even more after our cooperation. Now, a couple of points and then I stop it. Today is a good day, is a happy day for the strategy. Yesterday, Minister issued a declaration which marks steps forward on important dossier, on the top priority of the current chairmanship, enlargement, youth, and other dossier. So, great success. We've been working, Milos, and you also know, a lot on this declaration, especially during a couple of months now. We had some hiccups yesterday, last minute, the most dangerous one, last minute hiccup, but thanks to your wisdom, Milos, we have overcome and successfully contributed to agree on a declaration which marks an important step forward in our action. So that is important, and I'm happy. But please, let me address you 1 minute more, because I have to say something important. People of the Fora, isn't it nice to call people of the Fora? For you, it's an important event, also because an entire paragraph 33 has been devoted to you, to your action. And minister, government, we as representative governments are telling you, first of all, that we appreciate what you have been doing. You appreciate your contribution. We congratulate you for what you have done in consolidating the links, the relationship within civil society, local, regional, national actors. And we invite you to continue, and if possible, to do more. I'm pretty sure that you will do that you feel the responsibility of being at the core of the strategy, because, I repeat once again, there will be no strategy without you. There will be no strategy without subsidiarity, and you are subsidiarity. You are the famous bottom-up approach. When people talk about bottom-up approach, it's you. I mean, things have to come from the people with suggestion, advice, and so on and so forth. So thank you for your contribution. It's fundamental. Looking back, we can be proud. You can be proud. We together can be proud of what we have done. Looking at the future, I'm confident. We must be confident, because there are all the possibilities to go, again, step by step, ahead. And I'm sure that the best is yet to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, both Ambassador Priza and Ambassador Piapoco. We would need like 1 day talking about, all of our activities and synergies and everything, But what I just would like to emphasize is that, of course, we are always on your side. We are ready to give us more of our support, and it is connected of what already Ambassador Prisa said. Academic and business world, together with the local authorities, have to work together in order to develop, more programs and opportunities for the young people and to involve young people. So, but I'm sure that during the Croatian presidency, we will have much more involvement. I mean, it's like the path has already started, and I'm sure that with the Croatian presidency, we will have the implementation of this new action. So I leave the floor. I'm very honored to have Mrs. Lidia Pancegrau Androvic. Sorry for the pronunciation, from the Croatian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and EUSAIR AII Deputy National Coordinator of the incoming Croatian Chairmanship. Lydia, the floor is yours, and she has a presentation, so if you can share.
Thank you, Eleonora. Thank you for having me here and giving me the opportunity to present you a but really short presentation of our incoming presidency. Milos, thank you so much for having done so much work, so it will be easier for us to go on. And of course, Fabio, for your very, very nice words. But I see the expectation from our presidency are really high. So please help us to really meet your expectations. We will try together with all the organization. I'm not going now to go to name all of you because it will take another 10 minutes. So do we have it? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We could go back. With the other one? Okay, so just very briefly, that's our new logo and our new slogan, and these 3 waves under, that's of course Adriatic and Ionian Sea, and the 3rd wave is all the seas and rivers that are connecting us. Just wanted to point. Yeah, okay. Of course, for our presidency, our program is already done, and oh, it's here as well, okay. So, that's just part of the program that has to do with Adriatic and Ionian initiative, with social issues, with youth, and youth being very high on the agenda is actually part of all of enlargement and empowering women equality. It's as well considering youth in any means, and youth as youth. I will not go into that. We were talking on this forum so much about brain drain, demographic problems. We just need to act. We know the problems. We will continue working with young people, but it has to be done. I mean, just talking about it will not move us. And of course, very important, civil society, fora, and university cooperation. It's per definition work with young people, and we will try to do that. Of course, the question is how. In the strategy, we are establishing a youth council, and hopefully it will be ready, set to go by our annual forum by May 24. We are working on it, and trying to include youth in all the levels, in the governing and in really actual work. Yesterday, I don't know if you have been there. It was a panel on social pillar. Strategy needs revision, and it was a Croatian suggestion which was accepted. We have consensus. There will be 5th pillar, and in 5th pillar, in social pillar, youth is high on the agenda, and now we just need to go into action and define plan and actions, but it will take place. I don't have time frame for that. And of course, topics in social pillar, it will be much more. Those are only ones that are considering youth, which we are talking about here now. Employment, brain drain, healthcare. We saw how important healthcare is in last 2 years, child guarantee. So we will try to cover them all. So, incoming Croatian presidency, we have already defined a lot of activities that are corresponding with our program, and here are only ones, the last ones which are dealing with youth. So please you are all invited to the launching conference that will be in Zagreb on 20th of June. Women Empowerment Conference with a big part about youth. It will be in July in Zagreb, but I don't know if you can see it there. Where I really need your help, all of you. We are planning in Split. Where is Jože? Jože got away here. Okay, so we are planning very big youth conference in November because what we need is better connection and better networking. There are so many things going on, but they're not really connected. So the idea is to get all, but really all institutions, youth councils, strategy, fora, everybody together and try to listen to young people, to talk to them and let them help us how to proceed and which concrete actions they would prefer us to do. So, as I said, I will be short. I do hope it was short enough. So, this mail there, if you would have any suggestions, any comments, whatever that you would like us to know or to do, please use the mail. And otherwise, thank you for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lydia. Really, we are keen to collaborate with you. I can see here our president, Jože Tomaš. He saw already everything that happened in Split, so I'm sure that he's going to work already to organize with you together with the three fora. Always in cooperation. It's always in cooperation, yes. So thank you very much, even to accept our invitation with short notice, so really appreciate it. Okay, so now moving to our civil society representatives, we will start with Mr. Andrea Perna, Professor Andrea Perna, that is the Secretary General of the UniAdrion, so the network of the universities of the Adriatic-Ionian Region.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. I'm very glad to be here with all of you together. I will briefly just say something which I think might fit very well with this ongoing discussion. But let me first make a big thank to all the organizers, the EUSAIR presidency, Adiatic-Ionian Initiative, as Fabio Pigliapoco has remembered, it is very much important role played by this association, and also let me thank you all the other fora. Thank you very much. I think that it is in a very important moment historically. We are living in a very particular situation. I don't want to say that it is so tough, but it is. So we have an important role as university in the society. I'm honored to represent this historical association of universities in the Adriatic-Ionian region. It is a very big responsibility. You can absolutely trust me that this is a very important role. Our universities are very much important in those areas like the region, and we have 51 associated universities. This is a very important point, I think. So we have a big potential to contribute and to cooperate with all the important actors involved in this very important, I would say, mission. I'm talking about a mission. I'm talking about the sharing of the good values. Being at the university as a professor, I have learned how tough it is for our young students to understand also this very, I would say, particular again period. So our mission, and here I have very good colleagues coming from the Polytechnic University of Marke, which is somehow, I call it the headquarters of our UniAdrian Association, and daily, really we work a lot with our young people, trying, of course, to link them to enterprises. We have many, I would say, even not yet developed projects, but many much ideas about how to connect and to make stronger this type of collaborations. So it is important to remark once again that, of course, we need resources. That's a point. I'm not saying that we are working without enough resources, but what I think is that we should leave to our territories what we have utilized in order to make these cooperations valid. I'm very much glad also to tell you that in this type of events, we should really very much come with some important, I would say, tools. And so I'm prepared to come back to Italy with my toolkit because I have learned a lot through you and through all the other actors which have been involved in this. So I'm really looking forward to push further this cooperation. So you can absolutely exploit our big network in order to reach what are the main goals of this strategy. Thank you very much. Again, thank you.
Thank you very much, Andrea. And now I welcome Mr. Marko Šantić, the President of the Chamber of Economy of the Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and important member of the Forum Governing Board. Please, Mr. Marko Šantić, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Eleonora. We haven't much time. I'll try to be very short. Okay, thank you. Oh. Dear Excellencies, dear panelists, dear friends, it's my great honor and pleasure to greet you all on behalf of Chamber of Economy of Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina and on my own behalf. Today we live in a time of rapid and perhaps revolutionary changes. All areas of our life are changing. The knowledge and skills we learned in past require adaptations or even major changes today. Today in the world, more emphasis is placed on learning rather than education. That is less attention is paid to the role of formal institution and more to informal learning in the most diverse environments. The concept of lifelong learning represents an extremely important segment of every modern society and economy. This concept is a necessary component of every country in order to be able to keep up with the times. Improving the quality of lifelong learning is a key to a successful transition to knowledge-based society. For Bosnia and Herzegovina, it's necessary to create an action communication plan for lifelong learning according to groups. Participants include in the formal education system, which includes children in institutions for early and preschool education and students in primary school. Students of secondary education institution, students in the higher education system, employed adults, unemployed adults, employers, some like persons who have with low and insufficient education, young people outside of education of employment, people from rural areas, persons with disabilities, migrants, persons of the third age, lifelong education service providers, and teaching staff. The cooperation of chambers of economy as representative of the business sector, universities and cities in the context of creating a favorable environment of development of lifelong education model is extremely important. 3 fora could be an ideal platform for the implementation of these projects. Transfers of technology and knowledge from EU member countries to countries that have yet become EU members through joint projects is only correct way to reach the set goals. We need projects that will enable continuous lifelong learning, but as soon as possible and with maximum effects. Bosnia and Herzegovina is a country that recently received candidate status for the EU. This country has had very turbulent and difficult periods in the last 30 years. This country has a very large administration due to its complicated organization. However, its country has hardworking people, natural resources, rich cultural and historical heritage. This country connects West, East, and South. Please, let us help Bosnia and Herzegovina together on this way to EU, where Bosnia and Herzegovina has always belonged historically. Let us help Bosnia and Herzegovina on the way to a better world where we can live well from honest work. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Shantic, really for emphasizing the cooperation again about the 3 fora that are the good platform to develop projects. And thanks again for the Mostar conference that you organized together with the university and that was on the enlargement where Ambassador Prisa and Ambassador Piapoco took place. So thank you very much once again, really. And now, last but not least, we have the representative of the Forum of the Cities, that is here with us. I invite here Mrs. Jelena Stjepčević, Head of Office of International Cooperation of the Municipality of Kotor. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Forum of Adriatic-Ionian Cities and the Municipality of Kotor, which is in the executive board of this prestigious organization, I would firstly like to thank the presidency of the Bosnia and Herzegovina over EUSAIR for their work in the last year that culminated in this excellent event. I am extending greetings to the Croatian presidency of EUSAIR, wishing all of you successful work in the next year. We are hoping for a successful cooperation with the 3 fora, also this year, FAIC, Forum AII, and UniAdrian. Moreover, I would like to thank the Adriatic and Ionian Initiative on organizing this joint event. I greet you all on behalf of FAIC President, Mr. Massimo Seri, Mayor of the City of Fano, Vice Presidency of the City of Pescara, and FAIC General Secretariat. It is even greater pleasure that today, in such representative composition, we will discuss certain very important topics that should have a great impact on the future development of the Adriatic and Ionian macro-region as a whole, but also individually of our cities and different types and levels of connections between them, and investing in human capital and creating training paths connecting business world and academia are certainly among them. Today, it is necessary to emphasize the need to make maximum use of the available potentials for growth within the region at the level of individual territories based on their internal capacities, which enable greater integration and connectivity. I am sure that joint efforts will lead to the improvement of the economic growth and prosperity of our cities by improving their attractiveness, competitiveness, and connectivity, especially through the implementation projects of the EUSAIR, which will contribute to making it a better place to live and work. It can be an example of growth, business, and ideas, as well as a gateway to the rest of the world. The people of the Adriatic-Ionian region have already shown the will to solve challenges together through joint planning and coordinated management of existing resources. I am sure that the cooperation of our cities and region through joint research, joint programs, and inclusion of youth and students will create additional opportunities for smart, sustainable, and inclusive growth throughout the region. Our city's youth, the Kotor youth, by its membership in FAIC, has already developed a strong sense of belonging to the Adriatic-Ionian region, and we are recognizing the efforts of the three fora in close cooperation with the Adriatic-Ionian Initiative and European Commission DG Regio in boosting the development of the Adriatic-Ionian region and involving young people. It is not an easy challenge, but we will do our best to achieve our common goals. We, as a municipality, are proud of our membership in FAIC, which represent a tool for economic, political, cultural, and human cooperation broadly in line with the European Union strategy for the Adriatic-Ionian region, AII. We are proud of the fact that the FAIC has been officially recognized as a key actor of the implementation of the strategy, fully supporting it through all its activities and collaborating with the European Commission and the other relevant institutions. FAIC is a network of 42 cities of Adriatic-Ionian Basin founded in 1999 that aims at creating a place for international dialogue and political mediation and fostering a peaceful Adriatic-Ionian community open for Europe. The future of the macro-region based on the European Union strategy of Adriatic-Ionian macro-region is not a geographical entity, but a functional area composed of national, regional, and local bodies that pool their energies to fight a series of common problems. In this sense, we must all strive together to continue to promote innovative forms of decentralized cooperation and partnership between local authorities of member countries. I hope that today's roundtable will represent one of the most important directions for the further activities of all of us, and I wish everyone successful work. Thank you all for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Stjepic. And I would like to emphasize that the Forum of the Cities is one of the main actors to connect especially the school, so the young generation from another point of view instead of the universities. They worked a lot with the sport. They organized many editions of the youth games, and I'm sure that even in the future we will have other occasion to work again with the schools all together with the other fora. Okay, thank you very much to our speakers of the opening session. Thank you. I invite you to take your seats and to leave the stage. Thank you once again. We took a little bit more time because I thought that, you know, the opening session was just not greetings, because as you see, we discussed about the presidencies of the Bosnia-Herzegovina that was so much important, and then the future presidency and all of our representatives. So it was more a panel that say that a greetings. So thank you for your patience. We have half an hour more, but let's stay in the frame time. And so now, let's start with our keynote speaker. So we know, and we have already talked, that the world is constantly changing, and we need to update the knowledge and skills we have. So the academic programs need to adapt to the necessity of the business world. And on the other hand, the business world needs the support of academia to integrate the most up-to-date technologies and achievements coming from the scientific research. So now with our keynote speaker, Silvia Mangialardo, we will go into details. She will set in the context. She is the head of International Relations Office at Marche Polytechnic Universities and senior advisor of the UniAgile Network. Silvia, please, the floor is yours.
If you can just upload the presentation, please. Yes, fine. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Eleonora, for your wonderful presentation and the work you have done till now. Now, my ungrateful duty here is to create a framework for the speakers coming after me. I hope I will be able to do it. And I thought to do it, first of all, by presenting what is the background where we, the three fora, started to make all our activities and things and projects, especially connecting the academic world and the business world. And after that, I will give you, as an example of best practice, a description of this project, which is a project but with ambitious goals, that is called Consortium Uni-Adrian Italy. So, yes. Okay, this slide actually includes all of the things that I would like to speak about from theory to practice. What does the policy tell us, and what did we discuss in these 3 days of forum? Very, very interesting topics that are completely in line with what we are doing. The need for intra-regional cooperation. This has been stressed since the very beginning, since the origin of the EUSAIR strategy. The need for awareness raising among young people in the Adriatic-Ionian region that the strategy exists and that intra-regional cooperation is needed. We have to develop, we have to strengthen their sense of belonging to the region, because if we want to prevent brain drain, we must convince them to live here is not only beautiful, but also important for their future and for the future of the region. And we need to enhance the involvement of students in institutional activities. This is also, this was stressed a lot of times during the forum these days, and this is something that we already knew. That's why people after me, students, we chose students to do that, will tell you how we are implementing activities to enhance the involvement of students in our policies, in our institutional activities. Of course, Uni-Adrian, as Association of Universities of the region, has taken on the role of intermediary between the EU policies and what we are doing for our members. And going deep into practice, what we are doing is the development of study programs that are more and more integrated, joint study programs, exchanges of students and staff. I've taken as an example the a very ambitious program that we are developing and whose preparation was financed by the latest call of the Adrian program, that is the Adrian Master on Circular Economy and Bioeconomy, very hot topic at the moment, especially in the region. And last but not least, I left it in the end because this is what we are especially speaking about today, the need for vocational education and training in the Western Balkans, which was stressed many, many times. Also during the meetings of the Berlin process, especially in Wien 2015 and in Berlin 2021. Speaking about vocational education and training, the three fora are implementing a lot of projects now, specifically dedicated to traineeships, to offer our students, our young people in this region, the opportunity of be mobile for a traineeship between the Italian Eastern Coast and the Western Balkans and the other way around. At present, we have got scholarships available, for example, under the INUREC Plus project, which is a project where the three fora are partners and is coordinated by CPMR. These internships will be quality internships at EU institutions and Secretariat of UNESCO cities, for example, while through the Western Balkanship project, which is about to start, and it is run, as Ambassador Pigliapoco reminded before me, in collaboration with the Adriatic-Ionian Initiative, we have many scholarships, let's say, to send our young people to small and medium companies in the area to carry out an experience which will be useful for their future in the business world. And last but not least, what I am going in detail now, the Erasmus Plus Consortium Uniadrian Italy, which also has scholarships for internships. What is the consortium? Let me tell you this, when the strategy was born, it was very, very clear from the very beginning that they wouldn't give us additional money to implement the strategy, but they invited us, the stakeholders, the people operating in the area, to use existing money, existing actions already in place. And as universities, of course, we are working a lot with the Erasmus Plus program, and the Erasmus Plus program, which is one of the most successful programs of the European Union, luckily has got a lot of money. So we thought, why don't we use money from the Erasmus Plus program to carry out our activities and to reach our objectives in the region? And from this came the idea of accrediting a consortium. Now, you see, it is called Uniadrian Italy for a technical reason, because mobility consortia in the framework of the Erasmus Plus program can only be national. So we had to put together the 13 Italian universities belonging to Uniadrian at the time of the accreditation, because after 2 years we became 19 Italian universities. So now we have to find a way on to include them in our consortium. It was accredited for the first time in 2020, when the COVID-19 was fully in place. So the beginning was a little bit slow, but now we are starting with a lot of activities. Why? Because we felt the need to strengthen, to better structure the mobility of students and staff in the area. We saw that some of our Italian students came to this side of the Adriatic and Ionian Seas, but without awareness, they were not conscious of what they were doing. It was like a normal mobility, like going to Spain, less attractive than going to Spain. And for example, just to take an example, and they couldn't see why, the real reason why we offer this opportunity, that is the joint growth of the region. And I told you the partnership is composed of the 13 universities belonging to Uniadrian at the time in 2020. So the challenges that we had to face at the time, and still now, were, for example, the scarce attractiveness of universities from the Western Balkans for the Italian students. Sometimes they thought, and they still think, that the quality is at a low level. Why we know that it's not so. There are very good quality universities in all of the countries of the region. And for the students and staff from the Western Balkans, we noticed a low level of regional cooperation. So they didn't want to go, for example, from Bosnia to Croatia, but preferred to go very far away, from Bosnia to Germany, for example. And of course, we want to prevent the phenomenon of brain drain. And for the students and staff, both from Italy and from the Western Balkans, we needed to increase the level of awareness of being part of the region. So to face the challenges that couldn't be approached through a bilateral collaboration, we accredited the consortium with the specific objectives of increasing the level of attractiveness of universities from the Western Balkans, stimulate regional cooperation, stimulate mobility within the region as an opportunity to grow together and to prevent brain drain, and of course to promote the acceptance of the current geopolitical changes that are occurring in the area, so the principles of the EUSAIR strategy. These are the universities, the 13 universities that compose the consortium. The university where I work, Marche Polytechnic University, is the coordinator of the consortium, and as our Secretary General reminded us, is also the university hosting the General Secretariat of the Uniadrian Association. What are we going to do thanks to the money that we gained with the consortium? We are going to implement mobility of students for study reasons, which means they go to another university in the region, attend the lectures and take exams. Student mobility for traineeship. We have hundreds of scholarships so far, and we have to start to carry out them, to grant them to our students. But we also have scholarships for staff mobility for teaching and for staff mobility for training. So really a lot of opportunities. Which are the expected results? I divided them between the short, medium-term results and long-term results. So first of all, increase the number of the mobilities in the area. And then the development of soft skills and practical expertise, which we have stressed many times through the scholarships, for example, for traineeship. Improve the quality of the mobilities and increase the university cooperation at regional level, because if we exchange students and staff in the region, then new things come out, joint programs, joint projects, joint research, and so on. And then going towards the long-term impact, of course, we would like to reach, to increase the sense of belonging to the region, to increase the awareness and consciousness that we are in the EU, that EU policies are active here, and last but not least, to support the integration process in the European Union of the countries which are no longer there. As you can see, the budget is huge. So far, we have got about 2,500,000 euros in three calls, which we gained in three calls, 2020, 2021, and 2022. Of course, we submitted a project in the call 2023 too, which is now under evaluation, so possibly the budget will increase. The project has got a dedicated website, so if you would like to have more information, you can visit it. And what's next? I promise that this is my last slide. Of course, more projects, because we are just at the beginning. COVID gave us an opportunity to work, to think, and to plan the future. European universities, I couldn't not notice that you mentioned it, because it's on the mouth of everybody working in the academic world. And I'm very happy that it was you who mentioned it, because you are our future in the next year. Of course, it's a very ambitious thing. It's probably the most innovative and the most ambitious idea that the European Commission had in the field of higher education. It started in 2018 with the aim of creating the European university, where my university is will be no longer the University of Ancona, but the University of Ancona in Europe, and so for all the other universities. We have had some pressure from the European Commission to think about a possible European Universities Alliance of the Adiatic-Ionian Region. So it would be nice to speak with you about that in the next year under your presidency. The question is, why not? Let's think about it. So I thank you for your attention. I hope I have not been too long. These are my contact details for anything. I will be here till the end, so thank you.
Thank you very much, Silvia, really, for setting the context and to explain what we already know, that the universities are so important and they are the intermediary between the EU policy and the students, the researchers, and then, of course, the connection with the business and with all of us. So now, just an information. So if you have any questions, we will reply to them at the end of the event. So keep it to you right now, and then and then we will talk together. So now I have the pleasure to invite Professor Jovo Atelevic. Together with him, we are going to better discover the connection between academia and business world. I know that you would need 1 week to do so, maybe, but we agreed already that you will stay in the time frame. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I should lift that. My warm greetings to everyone, and thank you very much for invitation and faith in me to talk about this challenging topic. I believe we need probably 10 days to talk about this, but I try to round up this in 7-8 minutes. That's right? So I'm coming from Banja Luka, University of Banja Luka, the Faculty of Economics. I've been teaching the last 20 years business studies, which is very connected to this topic in different countries. And I draw this presentation from my own experience, and I dig some data mining. And my focus of the presentation is really on business schools, purely from academic point of view. And thank you very much, Sylvia, for your nice explanation how we connect university and these various programs, which are very helpful. But I would say we need to stop mobility from the Balkans, because they never come back. They go away and then so, okay. So the key words are the fourth industrial revolution, technology, whatever that means, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, and so on and so on. So I'll round up my argument about this, around this. We live really we are living in the threshold of the next, I would say, current production or industrial revolution, emerging technology, even ongoing transformation, really, in terms of in the area of production and consumption in that industry are unprecedented in terms of scale and impact. Emerging technologies, we mean by this on the 4.0 technologies, will bring and still bringing widespread automation, irreversible shifts of structures of jobs, therefore raising some challenges on the labor market, and for policymakers who are responsible to promote, I would say, employment and skills. And that's the major challenge, not just by university, but the policymakers. I'm not going to talk about these things, how technology really, we have positive and negative impacts through the history. Education, few speakers before me emphasized the importance. It's a powerful agent of changes and improves whatever health, livelihood, contribute to different developments and so on. The major change in education are being referred as a fourth general revolutions, digital transformation, and flipped pedagogy, 21st century education. So flipped teaching is variety of different, or blend, mixed different teaching in class, outside the class. So, number of the universities. You can see I found different data, but this is probably the most accurate. About 24,000 universities, 24,000 globally. And we have 10,000 business schools. You can imagine, 10,000 business schools teaching and producing millions of leaders and whatever students for the market, volatile market. Business schools are, we can say also business or management schools. It's overlap between, but business schools is more like really, I would say it's sexier for students to attract. Student subjects relate to business and commerce, such as economics, finance, management, which is a general notion. The number of business schools exploded in the last 3 decades, really. It's a business itself. So huge amount of resources are allocated and they compete globally. So this is some really major question we really should consider when you talk about connecting education and practice. Most business school graduates get employment in service sector, finance, insurance, managerial positions, sales, marketing, so C&O production. Financial services comprise about 24% of the global economy. So they really absorb probably the best students. I know in Banja Luka, all our best students go to financial sector. And insurance, 6.8. So more than quarter of the in total, these two absorb not just the students, but the economy, really. Key challenges, massive economic uncertainty, an ever-changing job market spurred by, rapid digital transformation, an impending ecological crisis as well. What do business schools leaders have to say about this? I just put some examples in the end, and how they address challenges and make strategic decisions. They all try to position themselves in the marketplace globally. They all try to attract global students. Programs are designed with practical, interactive methodologies to accelerate the transformation of professionals, entrepreneurs, and so on. Programs combine international, multidisciplinary approach and the development of essential skills, whatever that means, essential. Business schools position themselves at the heart of the university in different ways. They really, collect resources because programs are very expensive, up to $200,000. Just 18 months course. I don't know what students can really learn in less than 2 years and spend that much money. I met so many students where I was working in the UK and in New Zealand, and they really always place this question, what we are going to get back for this kind of money. Strategic orientation, internationalization strategies. I'm not going to talk this. Globalized world, improving the quality of education, institutional competitiveness. Second most, framing strategies that are broad in their nature, focus on students' mobility and recruitment. Third, business school mobility and cross-border operation, large-scale investment by business schools outside home and abroad. Okay, business schools build their brand, so this is very important, and using different agency for accreditation. We have 1, 2, 3 different agencies who really accreditate some top leading business schools. And also that's, again, it's a business. Student satisfaction is increasing, and so on and so on. I just go back, I think I skipped up. What students supposed to learn at leading business school? Innovation. When you say innovation, it's a really very, very broad notion what we are talking, what kind of, it's not radical innovation. We say we can use this for anything, innovate new market, teaching, leadership, but really students cannot learn much in 3-4 years about innovation itself. Entrepreneurial skills, unfortunately, this is also missed out. Not many students really from top leading school go to create own business or to do entrepreneurial activities. You need much experience and resources to do so. digital transformation, dynamic and interactive learning, collaboration with the business world. The progress seems to be designed to fit, and this is really important to say, to fit multinationals' labor requirements. Language proficiency, technical experience, adaptability, communication, and interpersonal skills, cultural awareness. So global companies, they really hunting for leaders who can attract capital, and so on. Now I did some research what leading business school and their leaders really say about how they really place themselves in the marketplace, what kind of strategy. And at the end, we'll see they all target the same areas: leadership, ethic approach to business, social responsibility, and so on. So I'm not going to read all this citation. Requires strong market awareness and effective forecasting, as well as, and that's the huge challenge: how to forecast, how to predict the future in the marketplace, in the business world, because we really live in a so volatile business environment, geopolitical shifting, and so on and so on. So I would focus on this coding in terms of skills, coding capabilities. So we really have to deal with the huge information, how we code this, how we read data, how we can put this in place, okay? Effective communication, teamwork in a diverse environment, design thinking, emotional intelligence, this is, I would say, important, and so on and so on. And Vincenzo Vinci, Dean of Presidency, SSSEC Business School, partner with Columbia University. This is from France, okay? The blend of data science and business courses, engineering and management in France and the United States will equip them with the best knowledge, know-how, soft skills, whatever that means, allow for a truly transformative experience. It is fully aligned with the strategy of development, multidisciplinary programs, and so on. The dual degree program will equip graduates to succeed in a number of roles. Few slides, thank you. Roland Seegers, Director of External Engagement in ESMT Berlin, also thinking out of the box, broad understanding of business, building ecosystem of suppliers, partners, and so on, cohort to maximum diversity in gender, intellectual background, nationality, and so on. Andrew Burke, a great scholar, Dean of the Trinity Business School. He focused on ethical business and calling this moral compass, so sensitivity to a different aspect of the practice. Stephen McGuire, Dean of the University of Sussex Business School. Sustainability according to SDGs. And I think the last one, Manku, Dean of the Neoma Business School, Shape the Future Business. So you can see they're really trying to put up some new strategy and direction, but they're all talking about the globalization, how they position themselves, how to attract students, how to really charge this huge amount of money for 2, 3, 4 years, okay? And that's it. I'm not going to, because no more time. So thank you very much for attention.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor Tilevich. I would like to remind you that all the materials will be uploaded on our websites, the 3 Fora websites, so you will find all the information that were in the professor presentation on your disposal. So now, let's move on to 3 different initiatives and experiences that we have on the ground. I'm glad to give the floor to my colleague Anna Cingoli, the project assistant at the Forum of the Adriatic and Ionian Chambers of Commerce. Anna will tell us about the important mobility program, Western Balkanship, that was even mentioned before by Ambassador Pia Poco and Silvia Mangialardo. That is going to be implemented by our forum together with the university network, the UniAdrian, and it was financed by the Ministry of the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs through the cooperation with Adriatic and Ionian initiative. Anna, the floor is yours.
I'm short, so I need to move the microphone. Hello, everyone. I'm Anna Cingoli. As Eleonora said, I'm from the Forum of the Adriatic and Ionian Chambers of Commerce, and I'm honored to speak on behalf of both Forum and UniAdrian on the matters of this project. I will be as much brief as possible since I do not want to steal any time to no one. So this is going to be what we are going to discuss. So just a little bit of presentation of who we are as Forum and UniAdrian, and the concept of the project, the desk research we did, and the project timeline and structure. Who we are, as I think most of us know, the Forum of the Adriatic and Ionian Chambers of Commerce, as much as UniAdrian, we are transnational non-profit associations. The aims are to strengthen the synergies and the opportunities for socio-economic developments, as well as favoring the progress of culture, science, training, research of the Adriatic and Ionian area. We represent together 4 million enterprises, as well as 941,000 students. And together with FIC, we have been recognized as main stakeholders of the EUSAIR strategy. Indirect synergy, of course, with the Permanent Secretariat of the Adriatic and Ionian Initiative. On this base, we had the chance to be contacted from the Adriatic and Ionian Initiative to develop this project that I'm presenting today. So the concept is pretty much clear. The proposal was thanks to the Italian Ministry of the Foreign Affairs, and the Forum together with the UniAdrian were called to develop it. This is a pilot project designed specifically for students and business to allow university students coming from numerous universities and from different faculties to carry out internships in the Adriatic and Ionian region. And the aims of the project are multiples, as you can see on the right side of the slide. So strengthening international cooperation between countries, promoting structured internship mobility, creating new employment, and so on. Since we are willing to promote the cultural and work exchanges as much as possible, the project has developed through the concept of the 2 banks. So the Italian students will be going to the Balkan companies, and the students from the Balkans to carry out internships in the Italian side. So for the desk research, of course, it was possible thanks to all the direct and constant support of our associates. So thanks to all the chambers of commerce that help us to provide with this info. Thanks to it, it was possible to draw up a database with the most up-to-date data and reach all the interest companies more easily. In fact, it was collect information about eligible entities for this project, and the data were therefore analyzed, being able to provide students with information that divides companies by country of origin, working sector, and what kind of interns are needed. The project timeline is really much simple, as much as an Erasmus Plus program. In fact, there's going to be an application submission where the students will send personal information and 3 possible host institutions, preferably from 3 different countries, send it together with the CV. Then there's going to be an acceptance from the host organization and the contact with the possible receiving organization that they have to sign a sort of acceptance. And then they drawn up the internship project, where it is specified the mobility period, the monthly activities, and the expected results. And then, of course, for the fact that we are sponsored, let's say, by the Adiatic-Ionian Initiative with the Ministry of the Foreign Affairs, we thought about a mandatory online training session via video lessons on the EUSAIR and other fundamental topics. So, and then there's going to be like the start of the internship. I was really brief, and these are our contacts. More info are going to be out soon, hopefully. And if you need any more information, you could contact or the Forum Mike Secretariat or the Uniadrian one. So thank you again for your attention.
Thank you very much, Anna. We are very happy about this project, and we hope to launch soon the call for the students. So it is a very good opportunity for the students of Uniadrian, as well as for the companies of our area. It's a pilot project, so we will see then how to adapt, you know, any kind of difficulties or any kind of issues that maybe we will have. So now, let's continue with our next speaker. I'm very glad to give the floor to Mrs. Leila Yusko, who is a student at Sarajevo School of Science and Technology University, and was recently chosen to be a part of third generation of young European ambassadors for Bosnia and Herzegovina. And she, Leila, she will tell us something more about the project, EUSAIR for Youth, that was implemented by the Tirana municipality in cooperation with the FAIC and the Uniadrian. Thank you, Leila, for being with us.
Okay, so let me get this one. Okay, so hello everyone. It's such an honor to be here. And today I will just briefly kind of share my experience. So since I know that we're short on time, I want to respect my colleagues and leave some time for them. So I'm going to start by saying, what did we learn at the EUSAIR for Youth? This was really a life-changing experience. Since I studied political science, you know, most of the time we talk about international law, we talk about security, and yet it's kind of intangible. You cannot feel it, but when you go to Brussels, when you see what people in Brussels are doing, the entire procedures, you kind of really get the feeling of what it is, and it becomes tangible. It isn't abstract anymore. So what did I discover in Brussels? Firstly, learning about rich European history. So European Union today stands as a testament to every single thing and its turbulent past. And it stands as a symbol of unity and collaboration. So it was really interesting to see and experience that as a young person who comes from a non-EU country. Then again, we have international relations which are fluctuating. We know security threats from climate change to health security such as COVID-19. It was really interesting how European Union uses pursuit of diplomacy to conquer these challenges. And then again, multiculturalism. At Brussels, I mean, Brussels is one city which is simply brimming with different races, ethnicities, different people from all parts of the world. So it was interesting for me to see, you know, when you're coming from one country which doesn't really value diversity that much, it was moving and really emotional to see just how people respect each other and how they thrive in diversity. And also regarding policy making and governments, I was thinking about, you know, a metaphor regarding this. How does this function in European Union? European Union is a really complex body. And one metaphor that I would use that is a beehive metaphor. So European Union for me functions as a beehive, an extremely valuable beehive, in which every single person has a significant role and every single person contributes to the entire process of policy making. And then again, European integration. That is what we strive for here in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and sincerely hope that by my lifetime that we will achieve that, because my network, Young European Ambassadors, exactly promotes that. And then again, collaboration and compromise, one of the most important things that we need to learn as people. Because let me tell you one thing about myself. Actually, this trip to Brussels was my first trip by myself. I had to go through flights by myself, navigate through airports, go to Brussels, you know, all alone. And it was really scary because ever since I was a child, I was taught to be scared of the unknown. You know, that uncertainty, it was so scary because you're just taught to be scared of other people because we don't know what other people, what are they thinking of? We're uncertain. And this process learned me to appreciate other people more and just to learn to trust them. And that's one lesson that I've taken from this trip, the most important lesson. And I mean, here I am studying at the Erasmus program all by myself in a foreign country for 5 months. So I think I've reached that, you know, level of trust in other people and also European Union as a body. So yeah, this is my first picture from Brussels. I'm sorry, my photo editing skills are awful, but I tried really. So yes, this is actually the girl here, Theodora. She helped me through all of this process. I was scared, I was crying on the airport, I will admit that. But she was the one there who guided me through all this. So I'm really grateful for her, and also I'm so proud of my trust which I put into her, an unknown person, and that has been a huge success for me. So then again, I know photo editing skills awful, I admit it. But here you can see all of us, you know, people who we just met, and it was, I really cannot describe it. And during my trip to Brussels, I actually found out that I became a young European ambassador, and we had to keep it a secret, but I didn't really manage to do that, you know, because I was just so excited. My family wasn't there, so I had to share it with someone. And yes, so who are young European ambassadors and what are they doing? We will talk about that in the next slide. So it's a non-political activist initiative established in 2020. It is a part of the EU Regional Communication Program. It fosters EU values and cooperation in Western Balkans, so it unites all young people from Western Balkans. It provides young people online visibility. It also encourages and promotes events for youth, and then also learning and seminars. When somebody asks me who are the young European ambassadors, I always say that they are the conductors and the promoters of positive change from community to European Union. As I said, when you're working with youth, since I'm working with youth on a daily basis, young people do not know what European Union does. And they have to have this sort of, you know, a mediator who will explain to them what is a European Union. What does that large body do for us young people? What does it provide to young people? So I always call them, you know, this sort of linkage mechanism between young people and citizens and European Union as a whole. And here are us. Not all of us are in this picture. This was from Tirana, our very night that we were chosen. So it was really, really amazing meeting all these people. And I mean, we didn't know each other. And through our trip to Tirana, since we went by bus, we really met each other on a more deeper level. And what are young European ambassadors doing for our region? That may be your question. Well, firstly, we're uniting Western Balkans in diversity. We're appreciating diversity, encouraging and fostering diversity. After all, we're learning about each other in EU together, so this is a really important thing because we as human beings have to realize that we will not always be in this sort of space of comfort. We have to get out of our zone of comfort and meet other people and learn to respect one another. And that's what we're doing here. And again, promoting activism within our local communities. So we're active in our local communities and promoting EU values. Pursuing creative projects also, and acquiring new skills, connecting via social media. You know, everyone calls us this Gen Z generation, and we have technology wired in our brains. We're born with technology, and we know how to use it. So social media is our strongest tool for promoting and encouraging activism, since every young person is basically involved in social media. Also, organizing inspiring events. We had TEDx Youth here, and that was one event which was organized by young European ambassadors. So it was really amazing just to see how many young people are gathered there and how much they learn from each other. So this is the third generation of young European ambassadors for Bosnia and Herzegovina. And I can really say that we hope to continue the legacy from our two generations before us, so from our peers. And yes, to shorten it a bit, I'm just going to move on. So areas of interest: EU integration, environmental protection, arts and culture, technology, human rights, and health and well-being. I am personally active in environmental protection, health and well-being, as I really see myself in global and public health. I've learned to discover that passion through young European ambassadors. So connecting academia and business, regarding this one, I can only speak from a youth perspective as an aspiring researcher. How do we connect academia and business? Through networking. We need networking. We need more events like this, conferences, seminars, trainings, where researchers can come with business, educated people and speak to them, get inspiration, because there's this large gap between academia in general and business, and we need to overcome that and to actually connect those two, because you cannot have a business without a proper research. That's the essential thing. You have to do a research before doing basically anything. You have to identify a problem. And then again, interdisciplinary approach, so we need to connect all these sorts of professions into business, because business is a really large notion which needs everyone. Then again, knowledge translation. When doing research, we literally have issues with different notions and different terms, and we need to overcome this by using a common language. And then internships and externships. From a position of a young person, we really don't have a lot of internships offered here, and we often have to go abroad to even get that experience. And I think it's really needed to young researchers. Since I'm an aspiring researcher, I know that currently I'm working as a junior researcher, and this experience has really developed me personally. Then again, professional development. So basically overcoming, all obstacles through common language collaboration, and also getting young people that recognition and visibility are the most two important things. So yes, thank you very much, and that was all.
I think that we'll all agree that it was a very touching and inspiring presentation. So this is demonstration that we need to involve more the young people, the young generation. And I think that, Laila, we will take note of what you said. We will try, I think, to organize together with the Croatian presidency and our fora. We will try to put together more, especially the young ambassadors, because you show us the Bosnia-Herzegovina ambassador, but I think that we have from all over the region. We need really to organize networking and trying to even show them what we are doing. So we need more to connect our activity with their needs. So it is just the first, okay, Laila, just the first event and occasion to work together. Okay, so now we have other very two important and as well young speakers with us today. I'm very glad to give the floor to two presidents of the European student networks of Ancona and Mostar. They are working together in a very important project. As well as, I think, all the networking that we are always doing among, all the network of the European Student Network. I was in Poland for the Erasmus, and I was part of the ESN. It was so fun, really. So I invite to the stage Ava Gazemi, the president of ESN Ancona, and Mrs. Razia Arikan, that's correct, the president of ESN Mostar. The floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for the introduction presentation. We are very glad for being here and bring here the voice of young people and students. With this presentation, we want to introduce you a project that we have just submitted. And with this project, we want to show exactly the power of collaboration in between young students, in this case, ESN and university. So I let you the word, Razia, for beginning.
Thank you, Ava, for the introduction. Hello, everybody. I'm Razia. I'm very pleased to be here as the voice of students. Who we are? We are ESN. and ESN is Erasmus Student Network, the biggest the biggest students network in Europe, promoting mobility and cultural integration. What makes ESN special is our values. We are students helping students. That's our mission. And one of our values is uniting the diversity, international dimension of the life, openness with tolerance, cooperation in the integration, and love for Europe as an area of peace and cultural exchange. The partners of this project are ESN Ancona, ESN Mostar, and ESN Albania. Our coordinator is Marke Polytechnic University, which is Ava's university, and we have 11 other universities as partners.
Okay. In this slide, you can see the background, so the beginning of the basis of our project. So the first one is that we want to go towards a regional cooperation. So we need to go beyond the bilateral cooperation that characterized Erasmus Plus CK Action 1 individual mobility, exactly to foster regional cooperation. We did this for the first time, one of the first time in the Erasmus Plus Consortium in Adrian, Italy, in one meeting that we held last year in September 2022, and we saw the results and importance of this regional cooperation. Another background and base is the Erasmus Student Network collaboration. As you saw in one of the first slides, we are active supporter of internationalization practices of higher education institutes. We work together. And last but not least, we have the EUSAIR objectives, which aims at a joint development of all the countries of the region. What are our objectives? What do we want? We want to improve the quality of higher education in universities of third countries not associated to the program. We want to enhance the internationalization of higher education institutions by promoting exchange programs and participation into international projects. At last but not least, we want to stimulate cooperation of institutions, capacity building, and exchange of best practices between who? Between universities of countries associated to the program and universities of countries not associated to the program. And here we are with a specific objective. We want to support internationalization by organizing formal and unconventional training for students and staff. We want to create Erasmus Student Network section, so new ESN association. We want to promote mobility from the very beginning. We have to start from schools. We have to start from primary and secondary schools. We have to promote Erasmus Plus and international programs among students from remote areas and with fewer opportunities. And moreover, we have to promote STEM subjects as possible university career among female students. All of these, okay, we have many objectives, but of course, in our project, we organized activities that we want to do for these objectives. First of all, 18 Erasmus Plus days organized in 6 universities of the 3 countries, third countries, not associated to the program. This means Albania, Montenegro, and Bosnia and Herzegovina. We want to create 2 new ESN sections, in particular in Montenegro with ESN Podgorica, and in Albania. ESN Albania is just one section. We want to create ESN Tirana. This means spread the amount of work for volunteers. We have to remember that we are students who are working for those values for free. We are just volunteers who believes in the grew, on the power of people who works with passion. And we want to organize 24 workshop seminars on STEM subjects, 24 awareness campaigns in primary school, and 24 in secondary school. Of course, we want to see short-term impacts. We want to see results for all of this. First of all, with our 8 Erasmus Plus days, we want, thanks to the peer discussion, we want to increase the awareness in between students and staff of all the opportunities that are offered by the Erasmus Plus program and all the international programs. We have to know them. We have to know all the possibilities. ESN section, students' associations in general needs visibility, needs an active collaboration with university because we work a lot. We work for the main aim, the main objective, which is promoting mobility. So we need visibility thanks to university. And direct collaboration with higher education institutions, because ESN will help higher education institutions for improving the internationalization practices. We will bring the voice, the needs of young people, of students, and we can possibly modify all the strategies already existing according to the view and needs of young people. Because okay, working and organizing, but we need to apply it and modify it for students. And here we are with the results for younger people, because we have to start from the very beginning. So going into secondary school, we want to increase to people from 15, 16, 17 years old, to increase in them the awareness about their possible career in university, what they can do in universities, and they have to know that with university they can go abroad. They have international projects and they have a lot of opportunities even about mobility. In primary schools, we want to start with very little children, making them aware of the importance of the interculturality and the globalization. We start from them. We have to start from them. And towards secondary school female students, we want to make them, and they have to understand that they can choose the future that they want. They can choose the university that they want, even the university that are, for the society, traditionally not chosen by women. But of course, we have long-term impact. We want to see the progress. We want to favor the progress of culture, science, training, and research in countries of Adriatic-Ionian Basin, and of course, keep the peace among these countries. With volunteering, with our association, we constantly increase our soft skills. I truly believe that ESN, Association of Students Volunteering, they are a safe area, safe zone, judgment-free area for improving these soft skills. Because by volunteering, you make mistakes, but you are a student. In a safe and judgment-free area, we acquire soft skills that we will use in our future. And we will become active citizens of the future. We will be the leader of the regional development in the near future. What did we do so far? So this is a project. Of course, we need money and funds for doing all of this. But as volunteers, we already started, thanks to the support of my university. We already started, we did physical meetings in Ancona last year on September, and we wrote the basis of the Erasmus Student Network of Adiatic-Ionian Region partnership, thanks to ESN Sarajevo, ESN Ancona, and ESN Albania. In fact, ESNR is not just a project. For us, it's our ambition to become the Erasmus Student Network of the Adriatic-Ionian Region. Thank you very much.
So, yeah, I think that, you know, the Erasmus Student Network is already a network of mobility and exchange among students, and it's so inspiring. I mean, this project, I hope that it will be financed, because then we will have an Erasmus Student Network for the Adiatic-Ionian region, and really hope so, you know. Really, thank you guys, because you were so good, you were great, and believe me, it will be just the first of so many initiatives where you will be involved. So be ready, because we will have so many occasions, right, Lydia? So we will have so many occasions. Thank you very much, really, for your involvement and for your contribution. Now, let's wrap up. So I will give the floor again to our keynote speaker, Silvia Mangialardo. I remind you that all the materials will be uploaded on our website. I invite you to follow us on our social media, on our newsletter that we have, and to contact us for any comments, any inputs that you want to give us, and even any initiatives that you would like to organize with us. Thank you very much. Silvia, the floor is yours.
So just a couple of minutes more to wrap up our interventions. Let me say that you are lucky enough or unlucky enough, it depends on the point of view, because me and Eleonora share the same enthusiasm and willingness to do things. And of course, I agree 100% that this is just a first step of many, many ideas that we have in mind, especially involving young people. Now, I would like to take only 2-3 words of the interventions of people speaking before me. First of all, Ambassador Prizza, I was struck by your need for survival. But I would like to prefer Professor Piapoco's sentence when he says that the best is yet to come. This is what we want to do, not to survive, but to give the region the best, because it has yet to come. And I would like to thank the representative of the Croatian Ministry of Foreign Affairs for her inspiring ideas and willingness to do well in this year, which is starting in 7 days now. Consider at your disposal for everything. I've seen that in the agenda you have already set some point. I've also spoken with my colleague from the University of Split, so I know that agreements have already been made, which is a very good thing. I would like to thank Professor Atelievich for his speech on the most academic, theoretical part of the topic that we have faced today. What we need from the academic world and from the business schools is multidisciplinarity. To develop programs that make students be able to develop a critical thinking, soft skills, which are much needed for the future business world, because I agree that in 10 years now, what we are doing today cannot exist anymore, maybe, and many new jobs will exist, so we have to be able to adapt ourselves. And how not to thank our students, Leila, Ava, and our colleague from Mostar. It's not for a chance that we chose students to present these projects and these initiatives, because we wanted to stress the importance that we are giving to young people to be on board. The project, for example, that our ESN representatives presented, the last one, this was an idea born for a chance at a partnership meeting of universities in Ancona, where we luckily invited students, and at some point during the meeting, me and my colleagues were facing each other and said, but what are we doing this for if the students are not interested, if this is not the right direction? So we need them on board. We need them on board from the beginning when we plan things, not after that we have planned things, because if we plan things that don't meet their needs, it's completely useless. So that's why we are doing this kind of things. We want to implement these activities. So I invite you all to share the enthusiasm that me and my colleague and friend Eleonora share, and all the other people from the Fora, and also the students, and because the future is yet to come, after all. Thank you all for your attention.
Unfortunately, we don't have much time for comments or questions, but I don't know if from the audience we have any... No? Ah, President. So, come here. I don't know if... Yeah, but I'm here for the streaming as well. It's not
not formal. It's on the end of the session. Yeah, of course. You know, so it was a really great, plenary session. But I mean one thing. So the youth generation, as we see now, we put you on the spot. You are now on the high level. So it's great. But please don't forget during your journey to the business that Chamber of Commerce are on your side. And please ask us, Chamber of Commerce, and our network, about 40 Chamber of Commerce around this area, that we have something to share with you, that you can ask us and our entrepreneur, because that's all about the businesses. Because you will learn from our mistakes, you will learn for how to achieve goals, because on the end it's all about the businesses. But please learn from us for the order. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much once again.